All right, everyone, let's see if there's anything more happening here.
Have on the TIG to talk about things of really high value.
With all high value. Again, you saw what the TIG is about. It is random designers she's probably trying to befriend. To me, it looked honestly like it's very likely that they are paying to post there.
Problems Rwanda has had. How do you explain this seemingly contradiction?
I think it's really, truly, and especially being there on the ground, it was so interesting to see that in the wake of obviously such a horrendous experience that they had, which was not much more than 20 years ago or so, right? We're talking something that was fairly recent.
Yeah.
And in that, yes, so many of the men were lost in the genocide, so it gave women an opportunity to either...
What a disgusting, disgusting person. Disgusting. I'm sorry. Like, that's not a positive thing. That is not a positive thing. That's not positive, okay? It's like The Onion had a sketch, like, moving forward, first female dictator moving forward for women. Like, that's just gross. I mean, again, I think she does not view people in Rwanda as like real people. It's not like a real thing, like those people actually being lost. It's more like just numbers, like, oh, I can say these percentages.
Succumb to that, or to then find some strength and then mobilize in a way that was really empowering. And I think that's specifically what they've done, which is a great benchmark for what women all over the world could be doing.
Where in this?
Yes. All right, remember everybody, fans of Meghan Markle, Rwanda is the benchmark. That's what she wants. You know, if we listen to Meghan Markle, put her in a position to run things, we could expect more of the same.
Dilemma does the United States stand?
I mean, I think what's been really interesting, and especially as you see with social media, it all goes beyond.
She goes way too much off on the sides. Like, she qualifies everything she says normally with something to brag about herself. A lot of you mentioned, I think it is to sound smart. Like, she's trying to just throw in as many phrases as she can. And it's just like the amount of information that is conveyed per minute is so low. Like, I think most of her, every minute of her speaking could be like a sentence.
On something that's just with a state itself, right? So with the US or with any other nation, everything's become a global issue. And so I think with women's empowerment and certainly gender parity, you talk about the Millennium Development Goals, right? Number 3 is gender equality.
And again, I will say it again, she seems to me, she uses these causes as a vehicle to speak with a bit more assertiveness and aggression to take over conversations, right? Like, she knows she uses this to take over the conversation, direct it, to be in control, because it's hard when someone's talking about these issues that are serious to come into the conversation. We've seen it before. Well, she'll do like these little bullying things trying to imply people are sexist. Again, this is a very common thing done nowadays where they throw a little something on people like to hope it'll stick, where they have to defend themselves. Co-star of USA Network Suits, and I feel bad. Let's see if I can remember who it was, but one of you pointed out one of her friends that she was always around from Northwestern is a producer for Larry King. So we know she became friends with that woman for this reason, and that's why she's been on Larry King multiple times when she was totally not qualified to be on the show. Quick question. So I'm considering starting a forum. It would be like a membership where everyone could discuss and I'd be able to answer pretty much everything, post extra videos, and people could put their own analysis. We could all discuss things as well as your personal lives if you're dealing with stuff like this. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. It would probably be like monthly, the cost of like a lunch, something like that. So if you're interested, you could put forum in the comments. I'm not definitely going to do this. I'm asking if people would be interested, and I think it'd be cool to start a little community.
I think the US has been so active in speaking out on, trying to have more female leaders. And I think especially watching the youth.
Again, everything's just about numbers. It's just about us versus them. And again, Meghan says this stuff, but in her world, it would be just her. Like, she tears women down more than anybody. And all of these words she's saying don't do anything for women. Many of my viewers are women. What has Meghan Markle done for you? What are these words she's saying doing for you? When she uses words like parity, it's not doing anything. It's just words to say, I'm standing for this cause. And I think for her, it was one of the easiest ways to get a platform. It's funny, she really reminds me of someone I went to school with who I've mentioned before. Her father was a doctor. She was always like talking about being a victim, came from a rich family, and she got to like speak on these conferences on women's issues for no reason. Like she was like a rich girl, but by just going up and like basically accusing people and complaining, she would get these speaking opportunities that she was not qualified for whatsoever. I think maybe some of these organizations, they're not super competent. I know there are ones that are, but that don't, that are, some of them are pay to play, where they're just like, hey, if you're willing to talk, we'll let you talk. And they attract narcissists.
And be involved and engaged in that campaign to make sure that men are uplifting women and see the same value in it. It's not just a women's fight for women. It's a people's fight for all people, right?
I guess this is the stuff that she told Harry. And again, Harry decided this means that all of his life is now Meghan's life, and he started copying her talking points. I think, again, Harry's not that smart, so her pseudo-intellectualism was able to trick him, and he thought that he's learning. She also took total control of him, whereas someone who's a little bit more intelligent, like William, although he was already married, would have seen through it. So I think she kind of didn't get what she wanted, but she's like, at least I'll be a princess.